My name's Mike Robinson. I own a bunch of businesses here in Berkshire, the foremost amongst which is the Pot Kiln, where I'm sitting now, which is my lovely old 17th century pub, where we specialise in cooking game and wild food. And I also have a restaurant pub in London called the Harwood Arms. I really wanted to focus on venison because I love venison. So I hooked up with Alan Hayward, who's my butcher and deer stalking mentor, who owns the biggest game dealership in the south of England, who's just up the road. And he taught me to stalk deer. Over a period of 4 or 5 years, I'd go out with Alan 2-3 days a week, and he taught me to shoot, identify, and he trained me. And now it's my passion, and I love it. And it's not about going out and killing animals, it's about managing the wildlife and then seeing that resource used properly. Every ounce of that venison comes through here. And you can see on this board behind me, I've got a T-bone of Lockinge fallow venison, a haunch of locally shot muntjac. So, you know, venison is, for me, the greatest meat in the world, and that's why I love it. When you stalk an area of land like I do, you have to be able to extract the deer. And a lot of this land is very either wooded or it's very open, it's muddy, it's hard, there's tree roots, it gets very baked dry in the summer. And you know, you have to have a vehicle that can take punishment. And I realized after 5 years of driving the Isuzu, the pickup, that I never once got it so stuck I couldn't get it out under its own power, which is amazing when you think I did 95,000 miles in 5 years, of which at least 20,000 were off-road, and I never managed to get it properly meshed. Never needed the local farmer with his tractor. So I was very impressed, shall we say. So when I came back to replacing the old girl 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I thought, I'll have another one. And now I've got the 2011 model, which, same thing, I've had it for a year now, 23,000 miles. A typical day in the Isuzu would be something along the lines of, I leave my house at 5 a.m., go out with the dog and a rifle, and probably one other person, and we'll go to one of the estates and we'll go and look for a deer. If we find something suitable, a gang of fallow deer right now, let's say we then have to go out and extract them. Now, if they're close to the edge of a field, we'll drag them out. But if they're not, we may well have to go in and get them, and that's where the truck really comes into its own. You've also got a vehicle you can put this stuff in the back of. It's bleeding, it's got mud on it. You know, so the bathtub back that I can just power wash out makes a huge difference. The deer get dropped off, I hose it out, I clean it down, I then come to work here at the restaurant. I also do a great deal of miles on the motorway. That's more to do with the media side of life. When I'm filming for Countrywise, for example, I might have to drive me, my home economist, all the ingredients in the back. We might have to drive that thing from Berkshire to the north of Scotland. You know, this one's got infinitely superior seats to the one I had before, which means I can drive a long way and not get backache. And I think that's, you know, I'm getting old now. That makes a difference. So, and the dog likes the back seats. It's very important. She spends a lot of time in the car. She's part of the team. She's got to be comfortable too. I think I'm getting the best part now on the road of about 30 to the gallon. Now it's sort of run in. And that's great. You know, it makes a big difference. We're up to, fuel is a huge cost now. I don't even want to think about how much I use when I'm doing the off-road stuff. I think you just can't. But yes, good fuel economy. Another factor that's very important from my perspective is that it's incredibly quiet. Now, when you're doing what I do, off-road stalking deer, that's crucial. I'm currently talking to Isuzu about the possibility of doing a special vehicle for deer stalking. One that'll have a gun safe in the back, very important in my book. One that'll have non-glare wing mirrors, a non-slip dashboard for binoculars, little things like that that make a real difference for someone who uses it in a practical sense as I do. It might be a hugely practical truck, but it's also a very comfortable car. And seats 5 in absolute comfort, put loads of stuff in the boot, but also you're not going to trash it driving over potholes when the roads fall to bits in the snow and the ice. That's another factor. Freezing winters now, never have a problem in that car. I think all round, the modern double cab pickup, and particularly the Isuzu, has to be the most practical vehicle on the roads today. I think my customers would find it strange if I drove anything else, frankly, because I think too many people pay lip service to local ingredients. It's very common in restaurants just to say, we use everything local. Well, just buying them off local suppliers is not the same thing. You know, at the end of the day, we are hand to mouth with the countryside. So of course I use one of these vehicles. I couldn't use anything else.